Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome on in. Obviously, you can see I've been quite a bit busy. There is a lot less in this apartment now, and we're going to continue shedding items as the day goes on. I apologize for being 17 minutes late. I know that's not appropriate. It's not right, but we had a power outage, so that completely screwed up my PC. Had to reboot it, and then had to reset the mic, reset the internet connection. You can thank good old-fashioned Hawaiian Electric for that. All this, and we pay 47 cents a kilowatt hour. You suck, Hecko. And we're out of focus. Come on. There we go. Anyway, Hecko being awful aside. Yeah, by the way, I do mean that. 47 cents a kilowatt hour. I think the industrial rate's something like 42. We make California's electric power look cheap. It's ridiculous. And we get it, 76% of it in the state from imported oil. On this island, it's 83%. How's that wind and solar working for you? It's almost like with 1 million people on a tiny island, there's not enough space. Might want to try a nuclear power plant. Oh, God. Anyway, rant over. Mini rant over, I should say. Are we live? I'm gonna go ahead and should be live. I think we are. Just don't have anybody on yet. Anyway, we got a consultation from another modeling person. So this guy was really good working with him out in Miami a couple of weeks ago. So it should be real solid. Asking me, hey, I'm glad reached out. I forgot that you can give me a connection to walk in. Yes, there is. I'm going to be doing New York Fashion Week in September, and I'm willing to vouch for this guy. I think he's got a good walk, and I think he's got a very good personality for modeling, but he could stand to lose a few pounds, and I think he would agree as much. So what his goal was is he wants to be slim. Don't care as much about having abs. That's fair. Not everybody has to. I don't tire lifting weights, boxes, be able to run 2 miles max. You should have no problem getting to that point. So that's the good news. Not in a total rush to have a perfect body. That's great. Anything to be able to walk in at NYFW. So NYFW, you got to make the casting call. I can't guarantee that being in shape will get you there, but it does increase your odds. Really depends on whether or not the model directors like you. Now, I know people, and I will, again, put a good word in for you, especially if you commit to this, but the ultimate goal is you'll feel better about yourself. So, New York Fashion Week it's on September 11th. So you've got roughly 90 to 100 days to get where you'd like to be. I think you could definitely lose a good chunk of weight by then. Right now, he says about 5'9", 5'10", so about average height and about 195. So you could stand to, I think by mid-September, we could get you well into the 170s, if not even 160s. Since you're not looking to put on muscle mass, we're going to give you I'm going to give you a slightly different mindset for how to attack the gym. But we're first going to start with diet, as we always do. You're willing to lift weights, which is excellent. You should lift weights regardless of whether or not you want to build muscle. The reason being that it has a lot of other good side benefits for both mental health and for physical health. And more importantly, it teaches you discipline. It teaches you how to overcome pain, how to overcome struggle, and how to track your improvement. So, he's lactose intolerant, but that's no big deal. We can work around that. And you've got about 1 year's experience in the gym. So would like to lift 3 days a week, we can make that happen. And then you do like to do cardio, running and walking after a workout. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through your diet, and then we're going to go through exercise, just as normal, okay? The bit rate is higher than the, oh boy. We having problems with the internet. What do we got here? Let's see what we got here. Let's take a look here. Stream health. The bit rate's a bit high, but if someone someone's live and can confirm whether or not the stream's acting up, that would be appreciated. If not, we'll carry on. So, your diet, we're going to start with how many calories. I think I saw you in here for the last stream. If not, you can go back and revisit it. But losing weight is a function of calories in, calories out. It's thermodynamic. Gaining or losing fat is a function of biology, what nutrients you're putting in. So, for your weight, I would say, especially if you're willing to be active, and these numbers are predicated on the fact that you do go to the gym and you push yourself fairly hard. You don't loaf in there, and that you're also doing cardio. So we're going to have you at 2,000 calories a day and 125 grams of protein. All right? 2,000 calories a day and 125 grams of protein. You are going to run that. And again, you can eat whatever you want, provided, try to get a couple basic macro or micronutrients in. You know what's good for you. Eat greens. Don't eat fried shit. Don't eat junk food. Don't eat Twinkies and then just, mob protein powder to get yourself to the right macros. You're going to feel like shit if you do that. Treat your body with respect. Treat your body as the temple it is. So, you're going to do this for the first 7 weeks. Today's the end of May, so you're going to do this through the 3rd week of July. In the last week of July, you're going to get a 1-week break. Based on how many calories you're burning in a day, there's ways to track that. You can figure out roughly what your BMR plus your TEF plus your NEAT plus your EAT is. Really, it's going to be dependent on how hard you push it in the gym. I'm guessing for a guy your size, if you're pushing hard in the gym, it'll be somewhere between 2,600 and 3,000 calories. So for a maintenance break, eat somewhere around that mark. Keep your protein the same. Then for your second cut, okay, so that's going to take you to July 20th or thereabouts. I take that. It is going to be more like July 18th. So about a little bit more than midway through July. Then your second cut, you're going to drop it to 1,900 calories and 120 grams of protein. This is going to take you, so the maintenance break will take you to about July 25th. This is going to take you about 6 weeks to September 6th or so. Why am I giving you until September 6th? Actually, well, we'll say September 9th, somewhere around there. The reason being is that it's better to have good food in your stomach and be at maintenance and kind of be sharper and wittier and in a better mood when you walk for producers and designers for these modeling shows than looking thin, emaciated, exhausted, and tired and just like foggy in the brain. So when I did pageantry, like when I did the pageant in the show in Miami, I wasn't starving myself. A lot of the other models were. It's why a lot of the other models were kind of cranky that week. Don't do that. Because if you act like a diva in front of the designers, that's a really good way to make sure they don't choose you. So just realized my light isn't on. Let's fix that. That's much better. So don't do that. This should get you, if you're at 195-ish right now, you pull this off successfully, this is going to get you down to about somewhere around 174. Which for your height, 174, it depends on how much muscle you put on, but anywhere between 150 and 180 is probably a pretty good weight for you. Obviously, it doesn't sound like you're trying to put on a ton of muscle, but you want to have enough for functional fitness, one, and two, it does make you look better modeling certain clothes. You don't need to be jacked like I am, right? I take it probably to what most people would consider an extreme level. However, there's a reason in a lot of these runway shows, the crowd goes nuts for me. And there's a reason a lot of the designers make me their closer. It's because I'm 6'3", yes, but it's also because I'm very muscular, and so I can rock outfits that other people can't. There are also other outfits I can't wear that other people can. So there's a double-edged sword to this. So there's your diet. All right. Now, before we dive into exercise, I want to give you a few conceptual notes. The first is the same thing I told the last consultee. Track everything. Track what you eat. Track what you, how you work out. Track everything. I recommend pencil and paper. The reason I recommend pencil and paper is because you slowly begin to memorize certain things. That's going to help you more accurately judge. You won't be perfect at it, but you'll more accurately judge food and portions. It'll keep it in the back of your head, which helps develop consistency in a way that your phone doesn't. The other reason is if you're using your phone in the gym to track your sets, very often just you make sure you're on do not disturb mode. Otherwise, the distractions will slow your workout, and then you've got a 10-minute set. Again, as I said on the last stream. So your workouts are going to be different than the last prescription. You are going to do a push-pull leg setup. Now, with your push-pull leg setup, it is going to be a lot less based on building muscle because you don't seem as interested in that, and a lot more based on explosive compound movements because that tends to burn calories a little bit faster, but also give you a really good lean functional fitness. Before we go any further on this, there's one thing I want to say. It's all right to have the general goal of I just want to look slim, and you can use and modify and tweak my numbers if 174 doesn't sound like the weight you want to be, but in general, you should try to make your goals quantifiable, right? This is what the title of this stream is about. You want to go from goals, which are these ideal, I'd like this sort of things, to objectives, which says I need to be at this quantifiable amount for this specific trait by this specific date. It makes them achievable and it makes it trackable. That's the goal. That's the objective, rather. You should try, instead of the goal is I want to look slimmer. The objective is I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 10 weeks, which is pretty doable. And that's about, you've got more like 12 weeks. So I think if you run, 2,000 calories, you should be burning about 2,750. If you hit the gym properly, and then on days you don't hit the gym, you should be doing cardio. We'll get to that. So workouts, push-pull leg, nice and easy. We're gonna have you go 3 days a week, because again, not really looking to build a shit ton of muscle. We just want to give you a good baseline. So we're gonna focus on compound movements. What are compound movements? Compound movements are the large movements in the gym that require more than one muscle to do in general. The compound movements will not usually be isolation exercises. For instance, an isolation exercise is something like a preacher curl for your biceps. Preacher curls, well, they'll work your forearms a little bit. Predominantly, that's working your biceps. That's really about all they're doing. It's everything else is fixed and you're working one muscle. Compound movements are a bit different. Compound movements range from the overhead press, where you're working your delts, but you're also working your triceps. The bench press, where you're working your pecs, but you're also working your triceps. The pull-up, which is fucking fantastic, and you're going to be doing a lot of those. The bent over row, the deadlift, the squat, your big heavy hitter exercises. What this means is you're going to be doing a lot less time in the gym than you otherwise would be. However, you are also going to be doing, this is going to be a fun one for you. You're going to be doing full body presses at the end of every single workout you do. These will spike your heart rate and force you to really dig deep at the ends of your workouts. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start with your push day. And you can do these in any order as long as you get a push day, a pull day, and a leg day in every single week. So the 4 days you have off, we'll get to. Red says, I just force myself to do a set every 45-ish seconds in the gym. That way I don't waste time in the gym, get in and get out. That's just me though. I like to take a little bit more rest in between my sets. I do a lot of volume and I go very intense, so it requires a little bit more rest. That's why my gym sessions tend to be more 90 to 120 minutes long. But what I do is extreme. Most people do not need to put in the effort that I do to see results. I am at a very high level of weightlifting, at least for someone who's natural. But I've been doing this for 17 years. That tracks. But good to see you in here, Red, as always. For those of you who are watching the stream and don't know Red 5478, if you like college football, he is your channel. It's fantastic. He is a diehard Buckeye and has seen more success in the last year than I have seen the Aggies achieve in my entire life, and my parents would have seen, and my grandparents would have seen. I kind of just made myself sad. Anyway, A&M just makes me want to cry. Let's move on. Push day. All right. You are going to do four sets of a bench press or a variant of the bench press. Now, when I say a variant, okay. Yeah, this is going to be no machines, okay? You're not going to be hitting a lot of machines for this. You're going to need lots of dumbbell work and barbell work. The idea here, good. A&M, dude, I will happily help you with that. 85 years of failure. Dude, we are at, I'm not making this up, we are at 255 consecutive seasons without a national championship for the big three sports. I mean, that's just shocking. A&M basketball is 0-6 in the Sweet 16. And A&M football, well, I mean, what team out there? Name a team that does less with more. Anyway, you're going to do 4 sets of bench press with a variant. So variants for this are going to be other compound movements. So an incline press, yes. A decline press, yes. Dumbbell versions of bench incline or decline, yes. Chest press machine, no. All right? I want you using barbells and dumbbells, building those auxiliary muscles, building that balance, and making those big compound movements. All right? Same thing for your shoulders, okay? You're gonna do 4 sets of shoulder press or a variant. So that's gonna be barbell behind the neck press, Klokov press, barbell military press, dumbbell shoulder press, Arnold press, basic shoulder pressing exercises like that. Avoid the machines, all right? If you have no other option, fine, use a machine, but really try your best to use dumbbells and barbells. We're trying to build your auxiliaries up here. All right, this is because you're not doing the isolation work. So for the isolation work, if you were doing that, you could get away with more machine work as your big sets. But because you're not, yeah. Once Wisconsin's video is done, Aggies are next. Get ready. There will be a lot to cover for A&M. I'll put it that way. I will, again, happily help you, but be aware of what kind of project you're stepping into there. Yeah, Wisconsin's got a long and storied history of failure as well. All right. We're going to have two sets of triceps pushing, 2 sets of triceps extensions. So triceps pushing is going to be things like a close grip bench press, a close grip incline or decline press, or a dip. All right? Triceps extensions are going to be things like cable extensions, skull crushers, JM press you can do as either. You get the idea. So triceps, because it's you're working with shoulder press and bench press, you are going to work them as an auxiliary muscle for these two. You can do a little bit of machine work on those or cable work on those. Okay, this is going to be the meat of your workout. 4-4-2-2. And then to finish, 3 sets of abs. 3 sets full body press. What is a full body press? Full body press, or an overhead pound, very simple. You take a barbell, and I do mean a barbell. There we go. You're going to take the barbell, place it down, you know what? Demonstrate. Use the spoon. You take the barbell. It's going to be laying on the ground in a deadlift position. You're going to deadlift, clean, press. All right? And you set it down. 1, 2, 3, so on. You're going to do 3 sets of full body press, and that is going to be the last thing in the gym you do every single day. The reason I'm making you do the full body press is because it works out everything. It spikes your heart rate. You should be gassed by the end of these 3 sets. So, how many reps are we going to do? Sorry, I messed that up. You are going to do, all right, Shoots Red, appreciate you stopping in as always, much obliged. So, for your bench press and shoulder press variants, you're going to do 8 to 12 reps. For your triceps, you're going to do 12 to 15 reps. For your full body, for your abs, you should be looking to do about 15 reps as well. And then for your full body press, you're going to do 6 to 10 reps. There's your push day. All right? Now we're going to do your pull day. Here. All right. Same concept. However, no, that's about right. Same concept, all right? 4 sets of horizontal rowing exercises. I prefer the bent over barbell row for this. You can do a landmine row, you can do a meadows row, you could do a T-bar row. Stay away from the machines. For you, you're gonna want the big compound movements here, all right? Vertical pulling is the same thing. Use a pull-down machine if you don't have a pull-up bar available, but really start getting good at pull-ups. Use an assisted pull-up if you must. Do pull-ups. There's nothing better. Traps and rear delts, it's going to be alternate. So it's going to be 1 week maybe you do shrugs, 1 week you do face pulls, or 1 week you do bent over lateral raises, or you do laying down side shoulder raises with dumbbells. And then 2 sets of biceps. So that's any curling exercise. I recommend barbell curls or preacher curls. Those would be the 2. For your case, since you're doing much less work, I would do 2 of those. And then as I said again, 3 sets abs, 3 sets full body press. That stays the same. All right? We're going to do leg day. Leg day is going to be slightly different. Okay. Simple as 4 sets of squat or some kind of variant. I'm a huge fan of the barbell squat. You've heard me preach about that enough already. It is the single best fucking exercise you can do in the gym. When I say a variant, I do not mean leg press. You don't get to do leg press. Your volume is already going to be pretty low. This should, by the way, these workouts, you should be done these in 30 to 45 minutes tops. You're only doing, you know, maybe, this is, let's see, 4, 8, 10, 13, 16. This is 18 to 19 sets. That's nothing compared to, I mean, I do 36. That's about half my workouts. You should be done this very quickly relative to me. So no more than an hour at absolute most. If you're taking more than an hour to do this, you're screwing around. All right? 8 to 12 reps on squat or a variant. That can be front squat. That can be a goblet dumbbell squat, but make sure you're using a heavy enough dumbbell to where you're actually getting something out of it. It can be, I don't recommend a sissy Smith machine squat for you. Don't use a Smith machine here. Use a proper barbell and get good at a squat. You can do pause squats. You can do, don't do partials. You don't need to do partials. You need the full range of motion if you're doing this few sets. You can do, yeah, really for you, it's going to be squat, front squat, or partial, or pause squats, excuse me. Those are going to be the big 3 for you. Box squats, since you're not training for athleticism or pure explosiveness, aren't really necessary. And you're going to get plenty of explosiveness training with the full body presses anyhow. Deadlift, same thing. You can do deadlift, Romanian deadlift, Jefferson deadlift, mix it up. Those would be the big 3. Sumo deadlift, if you like it. I'm not as big a fan, but you can. You can do deficit deadlifts. Don't do block deadlifts. You don't need a decreased range of motion. Back extensions and such, like good mornings, probably not necessary for you. If you wanted to throw in a maybe 1 set, yeah, I'll tell you 1 set of back extensions. So something like a good morning or a back extension machine, or even just, you know, back extensions on an incline bench. If you feel like it, you can do that. Not a bad option, especially as a cool down, but that's up to you. All right, then 3 sets of some sort of calf exercise. I recommend toe raises with a squat bar because that gives you the added benefit of getting used to having weight on your shoulders or on your upper back if you do a low bar squat. At 5'9" or 5'10", you're kind of in the middle ground where you can either do high bar or low bar squat. Really just try them both and figure out which one you like more. Then 2 sets of something split. So this can be Bulgarian split squats. This can be regular barbell split squats, dumbbell split squats, lunges, reverse lunges. Those would be the ones I'd be looking at, either with a barbell or a dumbbell. You're staying away from the machines. You don't get to do those. And there, again, there's nothing wrong with machine work, but it's isolating. That's not the goal here. We're looking to get you functional fitness. You are not going to gain muscle the same way I would gain muscle with this, though. Just as a warning, you're just not doing as much work. But you said you don't want to, which is okay. If you wanted to still go 3 days a week, you could probably increase this or add machine work if you felt like putting more time in the gym. I don't think, for your level of experience and your goals, I don't think it's necessary, but you could. All right? Same thing, 8 to 12 for squats, deads. 12 to 15 for calves and split. If you wanted to go more of the 6 to 8 rep range for squats and deadlift and increase the weight, once your form is good, you feel confident in it, I would say okay. Maybe don't do that every workout, but if you wanted to maybe go a little heavier 1 week and a little lighter another week, listen to your body and decide what you want to do and keep track of it so that way you know what you did the week before, okay? Then 3 sets of abs, again, same thing, 15 reps, thereabouts, and then 3 sets of full body press. That full body press should really get you going. Now, those are your workouts, but you're going to be doing a fair amount of cardio as well. It sounds like you already do some walking and running. You are blessed to live in one of the areas of the country that was built largely before the invention of the automobile, and even more so, completely built out before the Interstate Highways Act of 1956, and its consequences damaged much of what used to be walkable American cities. Thankfully for you, this means you can probably get around most of the year without needing to use an automobile. This is a huge advantage. One, it saves you ass tons of money, but two, it forces you to use things like bikes and your own 2 feet for getting around. If you do not have a bicycle and you don't ride a bike to work, I strongly recommend you change that immediately. Get a bike off of Craigslist or, buy a new one. That is money well spent. Bicycles they're money printing youth machines. They're absolute game changers, and here's the proof I have of this, all right? Hang on. Yeah. You can see the definition on these quads. That is pure fucking meat right there. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4, and it's not locking up. I hiked Tripler Ridge this morning. The point here is that if you want your ass to look good, and more importantly, you want to maybe drop a pant size or 2, yeah, start using a bike. You ride a bike, it will burn. I mean, even just riding a bike to a 15-minute commute there and back for a day is going to burn probably 300 to 400 calories a day. If you can burn 300 to 400 calories a day, 5 days a week, you're talking, what'd that be, about 1,500 to 2,000 calories a week, which is something along the order of 25 pounds a year, just from biking, of body fat, pure body fat. Do I not have your attention now? So biking alone could probably get you to lose the weight you want to. However, a little muscle definition would be a good thing for you. It would, one, I know where you live too, that there are some crime areas in your state. Not that you necessarily live in one, but people don't fuck around with people that look a little bit stronger. And it's just a nice thing to have. It's also more attractive if you want to, have more success in dating. Don't know if you do or not, but generally speaking, muscles are found to be attractive by everyone. So that's where I would go with it. So cardio, your other days, yeah. Ride a bike, and ride a bike some more. If you can't do that, you're better off running outside or walking outside than you are in the gym with a machine. A cardio machine is fine if you don't have a better option, but I really recommend, first off, if you're going to do a cardio machine in the gym, I recommend something like a rowing machine or a stair climber. The Jacob's ladder is fantastic in particular because the Jacob's ladder will do as much in 5 minutes to what a treadmill will take 15 or 20 to do. The Jacob's ladder is incredibly efficient. I recommend a rowing machine too because if you're doing enough active walking and running and biking outside, hey, you probably don't need to do that in the gym as well. And your cardio time would be best served working a little bit more upper body stuff. So that's where I would begin. Then with the rest of your cardio, try to start biking everywhere. Biking to work, biking to the grocery store, get some side saddle bags or a sturdy backpack. I got one over there. And you'd be amazed at what that will do for you. It's going to make your gut skinny and your wallet fat. You want those both. Everybody likes that. So hopefully that is good enough for you. It looks like it's been pretty dead today. So chat's pretty empty. I don't have anything else for this consultation. If you want a consultation for yourself, it can be a diet plan. It can be a workout plan. It can be philosophy, personal finance help, dating advice, you name it. Ask me anything. Ask me at askbullmuscle@gmail.com. That is going to be it for me today. As you guys can see, I have a move that I need to go and do, so this will probably be the final stream in this apartment complex. I will not have time to do my normal Sunday stream. Sorry guys, I have to move out of this apartment, clean this apartment, and move into the next one. So I'm going to have too much on my plate. So this will probably be it until next weekend, at which point we will hopefully get back to our regular streaming schedule. Otherwise, I will probably be hanging out and doing some more Discord stuff when and where I have time. If we get a consultation, I'll try and make time for it as well. So, as always, make good decisions. Those good decisions form your actions. Those actions form your habits. Those habits form your values. Those values form an ethos that can be the guide star through the rough waters of life. Much love. Come in for the hug, y'all. Shoots. It is 85 degrees and sunny outside, so I'm going to finish my move and then... No, shit, I got to go make a Costco run too. But homie's making brisket tomorrow for a party at the pool. So he wanted a very specific dessert, so I'm going to go to Whole Foods and get that for him and then get a Costco guava cheesecake, which is something I've only found out here in Hawaii. So I'm not going to try and have too much of that, but I think everybody else is going to be very happy that I bring that. So anyway, that's it for me. Shoots. Take you later. See you later. Check out the Discord if you want more. I'm going to go ahead and post that right here if anybody doesn't have the link that does watch this video. The Stream Elements bot is right there. Cool.